What's happening? This is Joshua Boetsi and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so I hope you're all having a great weekend. Now, Artur Beterbiev, he stops Joe Smith Jr. in only 2 rounds to become the WBC, IBF and WBO Unified Light Heavyweight Champion in only 18 fights. 18 fights, 18 knockouts. Now, he dropped Joe Smith Jr. At the end of round number 1 with a shot to the back of the head with one of those famous hooks that Artur Beterbiev likes to throw. And in round number 2, pure demolition, where he dropped Joe Smith Jr. 2 more times before ultimately stopping him on his feet. So that was a pure demolition job. Now, ideally, in an ideal world, because obviously we know who's next for that winner, which is Anthony Yarde, Joe Smith Jr. would have won. That fight, I would have favoured Anthony Yarde to win. But Artur Beterbiev is a totally different animal, that's for sure. Now, one thing that's going to worry me with Anthony Yarde, and again, apparently it's going to take place in sometime in October, maybe November, and it's going to be in London, England. But when it comes to this fight, as I started off saying there, I'll be a little bit worried for Anthony Yarde because Anthony Yarde at that time would have been out of the ring almost a year. That's not good. It really isn't good. And in 14, 15 months, he'd only had 5 rounds. 2 fights, 5 rounds. He stopped the dude in round number 1, then he stopped Lyndon Arthur in 4 rounds. Now, the Lyndon Arthur fight, of course, that was a very good win for Anthony Yarde after previously losing to him on points. But it's also the level of opposition that worries me with Anthony Yarde, much like it was when he fought Sergey Kovalev. It was a level of opposition. The gap was too much. It was. But again, Anthony Yarde, he's shown that, yes, he's got big power and all that kind of stuff, but against who? That's kind of the question. But he can be outboxed. Lyndon Arthur outboxed Anthony Yarde in their first fight and won that fight. And he also got stopped by Sergey Kovalev as well. And he stopped him with a jab. But again, that wasn't because Anthony Yarde is chinny, not at all. That was down to fatigue. He had nothing left in the engine after, was he emptying the tank, as Tunde Ajayi was putting it. So, but again, in that fight with Sergey Kovalev, he didn't win any rounds barring 1. He won 1 round. He had 1 good round. The rest of it, he got well and truly outboxed by Sergey Kovalev. Artur Beterbiev is a better boxer than Kovalev. He also punches harder than Kovalev too. So it's going to be very, very worrying. Now for Anthony Yarde, one thing he does have is fast feet. And that's what he needs against Beterbiev. Beterbiev, he ain't getting any younger. He's getting on a bit now. But Anthony Yarde also carries power. He does carry power. Yes, of course, we can question against who. But again, Lyndon Arthur. That was a good stoppage win for Anthony Yarde. But outside of Lyndon Arthur, what? Now, he does have experience now, of course, going through those 2 fights with Lyndon Arthur and, of course, the Kovalev fight. So that's good experience for him. But are they good preparations for him against Beterbiev? You would say no. Artur Beterbiev is 18-0, 18 knockouts against good opposition. He also has a very extensive amateur career, something that Anthony Yarde didn't have. Okay, now hopefully Anthony Yarde is wise in this fight. Hopefully he didn't stand there slugging. But listen, in a slugging match, Anthony Yarde could win. He does punch very, very hard, but he's going to have to try and stay on the outside. That's what he's going to have to try and do. Use that jab and move his feet and try and land a straight right on Beterbiev. In the early parts of the fight, if this fight's going to go distance, start chopping away at the body to slow down Beterbiev's aging legs now. Now, we call him aging, he's not that old, but he is the wrong side of 30. In fact, he's more close to 40 than he is to 30. So, Anthony Yarde's going to have to use his youth and his speed in this fight. Maybe walk one onto Beterbiev. Beterbiev, he has been dropped on a couple of occasions in his career, in his professional career. One of them, of course, was against, again, a very inactive Callum Johnson. But Beterbiev can box. He's shown that he can box. Even after he gets dropped, he knows how to defend himself. He knows how to move. But one thing with Beterbiev that he does pretty much each and every time is he likes to get up close and throw wild hooks. Left, right, left, right. Okay, that's what it is that he does. And the Yarde, it's very simple, isn't it? If somebody's throwing hooks, what do? Well, you stick out the jab. You use the long range. That's what you do. Because that's the shorter distance. So therefore, you land first. But he's going to have to try and walk Beterbiev onto something. And it's probably going to have to be a straight right. That's probably his best bet at doing it. Anthony Yarde can throw those, of course. So I do worry for Anthony Yarde in this fight, and if you're a betting man, I'm certainly not. But if any of you are, of course, the smart money would be on Beterbiev. But I hope Anthony Yarde can pull off this win. Would it be a shock upset? Yeah, it would be a shock upset. It would. But one that I hope Anthony Yarde manages to pull off. But at the same time, if Anthony Yarde lands, he could certainly drop Beterbiev, and he could certainly maybe knock out Beterbiev. Not that we've ever seen Beterbiev on Bambi legs or anything, but he has been dropped a couple of times in his career now. So if anybody can stop him, it could well be Anthony Yarde. He is one of the biggest punchers in the light heavyweight division. I think we can all agree on that one. Anyway, that is up next. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.